All right, on this video, I'm going to show you how to solve multi-step inequalities. So the rules are the same as they are for the one step. We're just going to put several steps together. So I'm going to start with subtracting 5 from both sides here. Bring down the 7x, bring down the greater than or equal to, add that together and you get negative 14. Then divide by 7. So x is supposed to be a 7. X is greater than or equal to negative 2. If you were to graph that, you'd have a negative 2, you'd have a solid dot, and you would shade to the right. Okay? Example 2 is 7 plus x divided by 8 is less than or equal to 10. So on this one, we're going to start with subtracting the 7 from both sides. That leaves me with x divided by 8 is less than or equal to 3. And I'm going to multiply both sides by 8. So x is less than or equal to 24. So on a number line, you'd have 24, you'd have a solid dot, and everything would be shaded to the left of it. Example 3, 4 is less than x minus 10 all divided by 2. So we're going to start with getting rid of the division. This is divide by 2, so we're going to multiply both sides by 2. That cancels out. 2 times 4 is 8. Bring down the less than sign. The 2's cancel, so you're just left with x minus 10. So now I'm going to add 10 to both sides because it's minus 10. That cancels. I have 18 is less than x. Now, when I go to graph this, I like to have my x first. So if 18 is less than x, then x is greater than 18. So open circle, shaded to the right. Okay. Example 4. Hopefully this is really familiar to you because this is all the same steps that we did when we solved the equations. The only thing we have to worry about is multiplying or dividing by a negative number. So example 4 is 2 minus 6x plus 3 is less than 11. So on this one we need to combine like terms. We have a 2 and a 3 on the same side. So that's 5 minus 6x is less than 11. Or you could have written negative 6x plus 5. So I'm going to start by getting rid of the 5. Remember that that negative goes with the 6x, or that minus goes with the 6x. The 5 is positive, so we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. That's gone. The minus comes down as a negative. The sign comes down, and 11 minus 5 is 6. Now I'm going to divide both sides by negative 6. So that's a 1, so that cancels out, just left with x. But because I'm dividing by a negative 6, I change it to greater than, and 6 divided by negative 6 is negative 1. So negative 1, open circle, shaded to the right. Okay, example 5. These are getting a little longer. 2 times 5x minus 4 minus 5 is less than negative 83. So you start by distributing. I'm going to get rid of this parentheses, so 2 times each of those things. So that's 10x minus 8, and then minus 5. Now I have a minus 8 and a minus 5 I can combine. So that's minus 13. So you could think of it as a negative or a minus, it doesn't matter. Negative 8 plus a negative 5 is negative 13. Or subtracting 8 and subtracting 5 is the same as subtracting 13. Then is less than negative 83. Then we're going to add 13 to both sides. That cancels. So I bring down my 10x, I bring down my sign, and then that's negative 70. Divide both sides by 10. X is less than negative 7. You don't flip the sign even though the 70 is negative, because what matters is the number with the letter, and it's a positive 10. I divided by a positive 10, so I don't change my sign. If you were to graph that, you'd have a -7, open circle, everything to the left. Okay, example 6 is 8 times 3x plus 8 minus 4 times -3x plus 5 is greater than or equal to 8. Oh, sorry, can't see that. Okay, this is going to be tricky. You have a minus that has to go with both of them. So I'm going to start by distributing everything. So this is 24x plus 64, because you got to take 8 times 3 and 8 times 8. Then this minus goes with both things. Minus a negative is plus a positive 12x. A -4 and a -5 is -20, so it's minus 20. Then greater than or equal to 8. Now combine like terms. Put your 24x and your 12x together. That's 36x. And then put your 64 and your -20 together. That's plus 44. Now get rid of your 44, move it away from your letter. So subtract 44 from both sides. Bring down 36x. Bring down the sign. And 8 minus 44 is -36. Divide both sides by 36. And x is greater than or equal to -1. Notice again, there's a -36 involved, but you don't change the sign because the number we divided by was +36. If you were to graph that, you've got -1, closed dot because of that line, and greater than or equal to is that side. Okay, number 7. -37 plus 7p is less than 3 times 6 plus 6p. So -37 plus 7p is less than 18 plus 18p. Now you can avoid your negatives by subtracting 7p from both sides, but we normally say take your letter on the right and move it over to the left. So if I subtract 18p from both sides, I have -37 minus 11p is less than 18. Now move your number, so add 37 to both sides. So that minus becomes a negative. And so 30, 40, 55. Now I need to divide both sides by -11. So the negatives cancel out, or the negatives and the 11s cancel out. You have a +1. But because I'm dividing by a negative, I need to flip my sign to greater than. 55 divided by -11 is -5. If I graph that, I have an open circle because it's just greater than, and I'm going to shade to my right. Okay, this is the end of the first video. Watch the second one for the rest of the examples.